Right then, lovelies, let's have a look through White Dwarf 509. So we got Nightly Conflict on the front. Now we did get some stuff. A new White Dwarf Bunker Ranks card, a street race dashboard, and 10 inches of tarmac for racing and showcasing your cars. So this follows on from last issue, where they were talking about street race. So here's your street race dash, chassis, turbo, handling, and then you got speedometer. You got 6 spaces there, just a street race on the back. Here's your tarmac, and then there's that on the other side. So that's your tarmac, and that is, I'm assuming, just for placing your vehicle on for photos. We then have the mission, and then this is the bunker ranking card. So each achievement points, earn achievement points for your bunker, club activities, rank up and see how you compare to other hobbyists around the world. Tick a box for every scenario of the month played, club event game played, unit painted or club event, painting challenge, unit painted. You can just tick them off. But there is 344. So you've got a year's worth of stuff if you do something every day. With the odd day off. Right, so here we go. Oops. Planet Warhammer. So here is your letters and miniatures. It says White Dwarf needs you here. We want to expand our readers' content, and to do this we need you. If you would like to contribute to the pages of White Dwarf, these are the sorts of things we're after. And it says pictures of your beautifully painted miniatures. You can find a handy photography guide in on Warhammer Community White Dwarf. Letters about your wonderful hobby. What do you love about it? Questions about how models are painted. Lore questions, cunning tactics, hobby hacks, and are you a part of the gaming club? So, Ask Ron Brindle. Bit of the month. Rat, duck, lizard. Cool. It's really nice Death Dread, I believe. Yeah, Death Dread. And then Space Marine Tone Keeper's armour. And then some more models here. Norn Emissary. Colourfully painted. And then the paint scheme, paint recipe there. These Vigilors look pretty good. I like their dark aesthetic with the red and the dark grey. And then Worlds of Warhammer. This is just talking about the various bits and pieces that go up to make Warhammer 40,000 what it is. It talks about, you know, the hierarchy, the various different ways that factions have sub-factions and stuff like that. A little bit about colours for different chapters, and then some other bits and pieces: psychology, strategies and tactics, reasons for fighting, and then we're into Forged Upon the Anvil, creating unique characters for Age of Sigmar. So this is kind of like background fluff, talking about creating unique characters, and then an example of a unique Chaos Sorcerer for his Tale of Four Warlords army. Jake created. For this article, his background has been expanded and rules have been created for him using the Anvil of Apotheosis. And the miniature looks good. Krizak Craw, another Niall, a product developer in the Age of Sigmar team, always wanted to create an Eshin themed Skaven army led by an Eshin sorcerer. The Anvil of Hypothesis rules gave him the opportunity to do just that. And then Raticus Clow, Skaven War Scroll. This Arch Warlock is an impressive conversion that comes from collecting the collection of White Dwarf writer and deranged engineer Dan. So yeah, just talking about making up different characters and the rule set that they're using to do that. Then got Hobby Hanger, personalising your heroes, Anvil of Hypothesis style. So talking about changing things up. These are the base models. And these are the conversions. Extra details and bases. Stage 3, the colour scheme. And so many anvils. A collection of converted heroes. A proper scrap battle report for Age of Sigmar. We have, in the depths of a scrapper spill, a Chaos Warband has invaded the encampment of the Scrappers. A war clan of brutal iron jaws, chaos and destruction ensue. So there you go, there's the armies. The Scrapper, Spill, and Ravagers of the All-Seeing. So this is going to go on for a few pages. Setting up diagonally across the board. I really do wish that GW would re-release, even if it's just a limited run, re-release the plastic battle boards that they did. I particularly would like to get my hands on the 40k battle board, the 6x4 battle board they did, and I'd like to get another of the Realm of Battle boards that they did. Glory points. Strike, flex, take and hold, or mastery. What's your play style? With the arrival of the new edition of Warhammer Underworlds comes a vast and intricate pool of warbands and rival decks for players to choose from. While I'm sure many of you will already be well acquainted with its new features and have many games already logged, I wanted to take this opportunity to provide a little more detail into the playstyle choices we've given you and how you can use them to get the most out of your skirmishes. So there you go. Some hints and tips for Underworld. Then we have basic training. This time Warhammer 40,000, making secondary missions your primary concern. Talking about moving into objectives, etc. Killing off your enemy, scouring them away from objectives. It's giving you some various scenarios here and explanations, and then you have a scenario to ponder through. It looks like quite a built-up battlefield here. Regiments of Krieg. I don't care about Krieg, I want Elysians. Elysian drop troops, please. I know pigs might fly, but Elysian drop troops, please. Isn't this artwork from the Siege of Rax? Example, Siege Regiment Organisation. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. Ordinarily, you wouldn't have artillery attached to a single company in a battalion, as a single company in a battalion. Your battery would be at brigade level, because you know they they're an asset, and there isn't enough of them. Obviously with Krieg it's different, but in real life there isn't enough of them to attach to each battalion in the UK. But this is where the all arms war comes into it. Ordinarily these units would be backed up by engineers, supply, medical. We've got the artillery. They've got Death Riders here, but they've got an armoured company, so obviously tanks and infantry working together as a armoured infantry tank battle group. But yeah, regimental command, battalion and company command, infantry companies, platoon command, tank companies. I'm thinking of, I really do want to collect an Elysian drop troop army, and when I can get around to purchasing some Elysians, I have seen somewhere where I can get them. I'm actually thinking of changing up the, because they're airborne essentially, changing up their platoon and company makeup. Instead of following the standard guard practice of like mixing heavy weapon squads in with platoons and stuff like that, I am thinking of in a company having 3 platoons and then a heavy weapons platoon rather than the heavy weapons being mixed in with each platoon. And then my standard loadout for each section within the platoon would be 8 or 10 guardsmen, majority armed with las weapons, but 2, which would be the fire support within the sections, are armed with heavy bolters. And that's kind of what I'm thinking as a airborne unit. You could probably do the same with Krieg if you wanted to mix up and come up with your own specialist unit. The 143rd Infantry Regiment of Krieg. Brush tips, how to paint. So we've got some paint recipes here and how they do it. I do love the horses. You've got Krieg Combat Engineers, Death Riders. Now this grey colour scheme is something I'm interested in because I do have some horses to paint, not Krieg, these are for fantasy D&D, but I shall use the recipe here to do a couple of those horses. And then we have these artillery units, which I think really look really good. And then heavy weapons. Honour and Infamy. 2 new combat patrols featuring Imperial Knights and their renegade counterparts. Armiger Trailblazers. Really? Just 2? Is that a combat patrol? Just 2? So yeah, so there's your date cards. There's your abilities and enhancements, etc. And then you have Slaughter Talon. So again, 2 armigers. Well, then they call them something else, don't they? For War Dogs. For Chaos. So Slaughter Talon, there's your data sheets, and then the abilities and enhancements. Sons of Tithonia. Award-winning Sons of Horus army by Rob Higgins. Now that is looking impressive. We've got what looks like a Thunderhawk there. We've got Cestus Assault Ram. These aren't Stormhawks, are they? Are they Stormhawks? And various tanks. Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Nice, nice. So a nice article about that collection. And there you go. Gives you the paint recipes here for them. Green armour, red armour, gold, weathering, gun casings, brighter gold, and gun casing metal. And yeah, they look fabulous. Riot of Colour. Dive into the Underhive with Oscar Lars Necromunda collection. So Reader's Gallery. Oh, look at these. And again, your paint list, paint recipes, painting of unit K Enforcers, paint recipe for those. And then Black Library, which is 4 of 5, Tatters of Hope. Okay, so it's quite a bit there for that. I haven't read any of it, I should do really. Here's your bunker article, access granted. So we are looking at elite units. Or leaders and heroes. And then this is Car Show. So this was mentioned in the last issue. They wanted pictures of your vehicles. And then here is some of the games and that. So it is literally just a 5-foot table, 60 inches. And it's essentially, it's a drag race, to my mind. The street race, these are the rules, how it's played, and then a showcase of the different vehicles. This is fantastic. What is that? Exavolt Planefarer. So that looks like it could be a scratch built thing. There's a corn chariot here. Are they Doom Rollers from Age of Sigmar? The double Doom wheel. And that looks like somebody's taken a Sentinel top and married it up with a set of wheels from the ATV or something. Made a tricycle out of it. Tuk-tuk. They're calling it Tuk-Tuk #1. Taurus vehicle. This looks cool. This is very reminiscent of, in its style, with the wheels closer together at the front and wider wheels at the back, of the Batmobile Tumbler. And a Hecaton land train. Look at this beastie. Love it. Satellite uplink. Readers models. Terminator Captain by Pete. Nice. White Dwarf teams play Bunker Bingo. And then your Orders, Sir scenario explanation. So there you go. That was this month's White Dwarf. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. Donk and donk. So hopefully you'll join me in the next video. Alright, take care. Bye bye.